everyone.
everyone, welcome to our murder mystery story.
And today we're going to talk about the unsolved case of Elizabeth Short,
A.K.A.
aka
the
the Black
Black
Dahlia.
Dahlia. So partner, are you ready to talk about this case?
Yes, it's kind of exciting and I'm thrilled talking about this case. It's so confusing because there are a lot of names involved and until now it is unsolved. So, who do you think was the one who killed Elizabeth Short?
Well, let's see partner. Let's not spoil anything here and let's start the unsolved story of the Black Dahlia. Elizabeth or Betty Short was born on July 29, 1924 in Hyde Park, Massachusetts. Elizabeth had four sisters, two older, Virginia and Dorothea, and two younger, Eleonora and Muriel. Her parents were Cleo and Phoebe Short.
In 1926, the family moved to Medford, Massachusetts, and Elizabeth grew up in that town. Her father, Clay Short, made miniature golf courses, but in 1930 he left his family. Cleo parked his car near at the bridge to make it look like as if he killed himself. Phoebe Short was left to raise her daughter alone. They live on a Salem Street. After a few years, Cleo Short wrote to Phoebe and asked to be forgiven, but she refused.
However, afterward, Elizabeth wrote to her father. However, Elizabeth suffered from asthma, so in 1940 she was sent to the warmer climate of Florida for the winter months. She worked as a waitress. Elizabeth returned to Medford in the spring. She went to Florida again in the winter of 1941 and returned of Medford in the spring of 1942.
At the end of 1942, when she was 18, Elizabeth moved to California to stay with her father. However, they did not get on. Elizabeth quarreled with her father and moved out. In January 1943, Elizabeth got a job as a civilian clerk in Camp Coke, an army camp 10 miles north of Lompoc. It is now a Vandenberg Air Force Base. She worked there until late August. During that time, Beth Short was voted Camp Cutie.
However, in September 1943, aged 19, she was arrested for underage drinking in Santa Barbara. Elizabeth was sent back to Medford. In the winter, she moved to Miami Beach in Florida. Elizabeth continued to work as a waitress.
So, Elizabeth has a broken family. Her family is in the messy situation that his father needs to act killing himself. So, her mother needs to raise them all alone.
Yeah, maybe that's one of the reasons why Elizabeth is kind of wild at the mess in her teenage life, right?
Yeah, maybe. And also the fact that she needs to go back and forth from Florida to Medford because she has an asthma.
Yes, she was 18 years old when she moved to California to live with her father, but she moved out again because her father didn't like her attitude.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing, right? Why his father needs to act killing himself at first.
Yes, but let's not go deep about it.
Right, so let's now move on to where she was arrested for drinking underage. She is really wild lady that time, right?
Yes, well, she really is. Maybe because no one guiding her.
Yeah, maybe. After a vacation to San Diego with a married salesman named Robert Manley, she returned to Los Angeles on January 9, 1947, to meet her family. She was to meet her sister at the Biltmore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, where Manley dropped her off. The hotel staff recalls seeing her talking on the phone. She was last spotted approximately a half-mile from the hotel at the Crown Grill Cocktail Lounge on South Olive Street.
10 a.m. January 15, 1947. Betty Versinger, a local housewife, was walking down Norton Avenue in Los Angeles when she saw something disturbing in an empty lot on the street. When she first saw the corpse, Versinger said that the body was so white at that first. She assumed it had to be a mannequin, but when she realized that what she was actually looking at was a severed corpse, she ran to contact the authorities.
She was identified by matching her fingerprints from her previous police record when she was arrested from underage drinking in 1943. The corpse was laid on the ground face up with the hands stretched above the head and the mouth, slashed from the corners to the ears to give a glass glow smile look. The lower half of the body, from the waist downwards, was placed a foot away with the legs wide apart.
The cause of death, according to the autopsy report, was hemorrhage from lacerations and shock from strike to head and face. Elizabeth had a normal anatomical structure. She was not
It
pregnant.
was a mind blowing, right? Like,
Yes.
how can a person do that kind of thing?
It's like they're just playing a toy or animals. Or maybe the person who killed Elizabeth has an experience to killing someone, right?
Like, OMG. What is that person thinking? Torturing someone? Killing someone? Cutting a person in half?
That person is really a monster.
Yeah, but do you think if they didn't return in Los Angeles, she would be killed?
It's so confusing, but maybe it was just a plan. What do you think?
Like, she was a plan to be killed? Guys,
Guys,
what do
what
you
do you
think?
think? On January 21, 1947, the editor of Los Angeles Examiner received a phone call from a man claiming to be the killer of Elizabeth Short. He congratulated the newspaper on their coverage of the murder and followed it up with a post that contained individual letters cut out and stuck to read, "Here are Dahlia's belongings." The envelope contained her photographs, business cards, and birth certificate.
Another package received by the paper contained a handbag and a shoe proclaimed to belong to Elizabeth. The evidence was handed over to the police, but they could not confirm any fingerprints from the record. They suspected a man named Mark Hansen, who owned a nightclub and was known to have made sexual advances on Elizabeth that were rejected.
However, they could get no concrete evidence against him. From the manner in which the body was sliced into two parts, one theory said that the killer may have been a surgeon, but a check by the police did not produce any results. A 10,000 US dollars reward was announced for any information leading to the killer of Elizabeth Short. Over 150 suspects were questioned, and many false confessions were made in order to get the reward, though all leads ended in the dead end.
In early 2013, the Black Dahlia case returned to the headline. An article in San Bernardino Sun detailed a more recent investigation of the case that was conducted by retired police sergeant Paul Dusty, author Steve Hodel, and a police dog named with a keen sense of smell, specifically that of decomposing flesh, which he was trained to detect.
According to the Sun, the investigative team has uncovered incriminating evidence against Hodel's father, Dr. George Hill Hodel, who the younger Hodel has long believed to be the Black Dahlia's killer. In February 2013, the team conducted an extensive search of the doctor's home, where Bastard had previously detected the sense of human decomposition in several areas of the basement, according to the reports.
Following their research, Saul's sample from Dr. Hodel's home were reportedly submitted from lab testing. Other evidence against George Hodel, according to his son, includes an old recording of a conversation between the doctor and an unknown person, during which Dr. Hodel allegedly stated, supposing, "I did kill the Black Dahlia. They couldn't prove it now. They can talk to my secretary because she's dead."
Wow, just wow. Imagine there's a lot of name involved. It says that it has 150 suspects, but no one's guilty for killing Elizabeth.
The justice is until now not given, but the fact that those cuts and the other things that killer does to Elizabeth's body is really questionable, right?
Right? It's like he or she is not a simple killer or person.
Yeah. You know, I saw this one research. I forgot if it's video or article something that maybe the person who killed Elizabeth was a doctor.
Yes.
Because how can a simple human being can cut into two the body of Elizabeth, right?
It's like he or she knows how to cut it properly, as if he or she doing it many times. There's a lot of suspect, but George Holdell is really suspicious, right?
Yeah. George Hodel is a doctor, right? Also, to all suspects, he's the one who has a lot of connection in crime. So sketchy.
So what do you think, guys? Do you think George Hoddle is the one who killed Elizabeth or the Black Dahlia?
Comment your thoughts, guys, and we're gonna continue this to our next video.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. See you to our next video. Bye.
Bye.